NATO allies debate directly shooting down Russian missiles and drones over Ukraine.
Here's a summary of the article.
A debate between NATO allies about whether to take a more aggressive role in protecting Ukraine's skies, including by directly shooting down Russian missiles and drones, has picked up steam in recent weeks. Whether it's done by NATO or NATO countries, that's one of the issues we want to have a discussion on, one European official said. A senior NATO official told Semaphore that a lot of these discussions are not taking place collectively at the NATO level but rather between individual member states. The conversation has been ongoing inside the alliance for some time but took on a little bit more realism after the US and allies shot down Iranian drones bound for Israel back in April, said Kurt Volker, a former US ambassador to NATO. But the proposal has significant roadblocks and is a divisive idea within the alliance. When asked about the possibility of NATO air defenses shooting down missiles over Ukraine at a meeting of the NATO Parliamentary Assembly this week, Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg replied that, "The more you are supportive of Ukraine, the more cautious we should be to ask for things that can divide us. I'm not holding my breath right now with regard to actively providing air defense for Ukraine from NATO countries," a second European official said, citing Washington's opposition to Western countries getting directly involved in military operations. Polish Deputy Foreign Minister Andrzej Szczecinaj has said that NATO is analyzing whether missiles should be shot down when they are very close to the NATO border.
This post received a score of 6,400, with an upvote ratio of 97%. Here are the top comments in response to this article.
I feel like we should just use Russia's hybrid warfare tactics against them, instead of having to officially deploy NATO forces to Ukraine and engage in official acts of hostility. Just send over some international volunteers with donated equipment or donated fighter planes, conveniently sent with volunteer fighter pilots, and have the whole thing be a special detachment of the Ukrainian army.
Russian media already accuses the evil West of doing exactly that, so why not just actually do it? What are they gonna do? Cry about it?
Elon, is that you?
Russia will be like, sigh. Time to move the red line a bit further back again, this time seriously.
The red line is projected from a projector on a rotating hinge, so you can just move it around back and forth easily and quickly, like in sports.
It's almost like Western Europe wants to button up this conflict before the Orange Menace could retake Washington and cut away from NATO.
The convict is helping in his own way, as a bad cop.
I was wondering why they couldn't do this after they shot down Iranian missiles on their way to Israel. In a lot of cases they would be protecting civilian. Consider it a humanitarian mission.
I think the fear is that Russia has nukes, so everything is treated with far more caution. Additionally, Western countries could fly over Iraq, Jordan and Israel, which weren't places where Iran had air defense. In this case, Western countries would by flying in close proximity to Russian air defense, and if they were just shooting down missiles, then they wouldn't be knocking out that air defense. I'd still be in favor of this policy, but I also understand why it's not exactly a one-to-one comparison with Iran.
Protecting Ukraine is in no way attacking Russia.
Russia sees even giving Ukraine money or equipment as an attack, or at least says it does, and yet Russia doesn't respond to that attack either. The comedy option, of course, would be to register all your anti-air missiles as Ukrainian aircraft, and when you detect something nasty incoming, you file a quick flight plan that just happens to intersect with the course of the unregistered incoming UFO. Couldn't possibly be Russian missiles. This isn't even a war according to Russia. And well, when you don't file flight plans, accidents happen.
Russia ain't gonna nuke anyone over NATO intercepting missiles and drones heading towards Ukraine. They won't be happy, but they ain't gonna do anything about it.
If Ukraine starts bombing Moscow and Russia can't retaliate because NATO keeps shooting everything down, you could most certainly expect a stronger response from Russia. It's a very delicate situation because this isn't a war with Russian civilians, but rather Putin himself. Ukraine would have to select their targets wisely.
This video was automatically created by Reddit to speech. The article and comments in this video were selected from Reddit according to their upvotes, and any paraphrasing was performed by smmry.com, without any human intervention.